Daylight savings for a dark meeting tonight. Board may have a motion to adopt the regular board meeting agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This agenda will be approved. Item number 4, approve the minutes of the October 20th, 2020 regular board meeting. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That'll be approved. Item 5, recognize Tristan Williams as first completer of the Fire and Rescue Program at TCTA. Good evening, Ms. Brewington.
Good evening, board members. I am pleased to introduce to you a history maker in the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Tristan Williams graduated from Paul W. Bryant High School at the end of 2020, but he got his start in his career of choice as a young student in the Tuscaloosa City Schools and began taking classes here at TCTA. He connected with Chief Randy Lautner to participate in the fire safety program. We are pleased to introduce him to you tonight as TCTA's first completer of this program. He's joined by his instructor, Chief of College and Career Readiness.
So I just want to say I'm Randy Lautner. Our student's ready. We actually have another one that just graduated this past year from the fire college and has been to EMT school. So hopefully he's actually on the hiring list at Tuscaloosa. I think he's got an interview here coming up before long. So with fire service it takes a little bit of time because it is such a very demanding job, and getting on. And good thing about Tuscaloosa being one of the top 5 highest paid fire departments in the state, that doesn't hurt us none either. So we're glad to have Tristan, and so I made him come up here and hang out for a few minutes. But anyway, and I just want to introduce him, and he'll be happy to tell you a few things, whatever. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Tristan Williams. I graduated here from the Fire and Rescue Program at TCTA. I'm currently working at Tuscaloosa Fire Rescue on Engine 1 on B shift. So it's been a great experience, and I've had a lot of advice from Mr. Lautner leading up to it and going through all the school and everything, leading up to this moment. It's been a great time, great experience.
Tristan, number one, thank you for being here tonight. Congratulations. The board was forwarded, I think Dr. Daria forwarded us the video that was produced, and wow, what an inspiring video. And honestly, this is what it's all about at this school. And this is the design and dream of this school, and to see it in action, especially so successfully. You've chosen a very noble profession that we all admire and respect greatly. So congratulations from the board, and congratulations for your success. And we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, sir.
Kristen, if I could get a moment. Kristen, when we were in the early phases of designing and creating this building, we went out to Las Vegas and we saw what they were doing with programs out there and how those programs affected and helped students to become something that they wanted to do versus just going to school and say, I want to go to college. Mm-hmm. And when we started discussions about doing a fire program here, and we also talked about a police program, and a lot of those things we hope come through. But for an individual like you to start off in the program and to finish it, and when we first got the fire engine from the city of Tuscaloosa, and Mayor Maddox and them, and everybody was saying that hopefully one day we will have our students going to school here in Tuscaloosa and graduating and becoming a part of the Tuscaloosa City Fire Department, and how great it feels to know that you at this point have come and made everybody's dreams a reality. And we want to thank you for enduring through everything that you endured through. I come out and watch you all a few times when you all had to drag people out of the makeshift building and everything, and he stayed on y'all. But everything that he did to make sure you try to be the best that you possibly could be, And as a board member, I want to say thank you for making our dreams come true.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but, 'cause fire is so, touchy. It's a real touchy situation for me. But, myself, Dr. Daria, and the fire department, the chief, we have been, working on getting something more in the schools, hands-on. So thank you too for offering. And I would like to see if you could come back probably to talk to students. I think they will receive it a lot better from you, going through the program, but also telling them about different fire situations and as such. So I want to thank you for your service, because it takes a lot to go into a burning anything. I'm terrified. So just thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 6, recognize school board member academy achievements. Dr. Daria, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board members. This is an opportunity for us to recognize the work board members do, not only the work of coming to board meetings and serving our community by leading the school system, because that is certainly a large part of the time of being a board member, but what people may not see is the training and the development that board members go through annually to be able to really serve in this capacity and be highly successful. And this school system is fortunate to be led by 8 board members who see the value in that professional development and that training, who are at AASB meetings regularly to receive that development. So AASB is recognizing 2 of our board members for their achievements in the training schedule. Mr. Simmons, who is not with us, he has achieved Master 6th year. So congratulations to Mr. Simmons and his commitment to the Academy Achievement. We also have Mr. Lucas, who has achieved Master Honor Roll in the previous year, and AASB commends Mr. Lucas for his continued participation and dedication to improving student learning in the school system by continuing to develop leadership skills. So on behalf of our school system, to this board, and then certainly to Mr. Simmons and Mr. Lucas for their achievements, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Dr. Deary, if I may say, I know Mr. Simmons is not present, but Mr. Simmons and Mr. Lucas, who have served faithfully for many, many, many years and genuinely love this system and this community, and I know how much time and energy you and Mr. Simmons, Lucas.
Thank you.
All right, item number 7, public comments on non-agenda items. I don't believe we have any. I believe Mr. Williams was already recognized. Item number 8, informational reports from the superintendent and executive staff. Dr. Daria.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In a moment, we are going to present a brief overview of our progress with Elevate. Ms. Markham is here to do that, but before she does that, and Mr. Jenks, if you can go ahead and pull up that presentation for Elevate. In your email inbox, and then also Ms. House placed a copy on your table, we just provided some quick updates on the school year in response for COVID. Some of these updates have been based on the conversations and the inquiries that we have had the last couple of weeks. The first item that you see reported are student cases, just an overview of where we are with student cases, as well as the schools where we're seeing the higher number cases. Employee cases, same thing, the numbers of quarantine year to date and currently, as well as schools where we've seen our highest cases. The next item also on the first page was a discussion that I had with one of our board members about this idea of when somebody is in a classroom where there's a positive, should we have the employee test prior to coming back to work? We did inquire that question with Dr. White, and he has provided a response. We're not done with our due diligence there. We're still learning more about that. But Dr. White's response at this point is that additional testing may not be needed or is not needed. If you'll turn to the next page, conversation at the board table, I think Reverend Wilson has asked us to look into UV disinfecting. Mr. Smith has done that, provided some preliminary figures. He had a demo at one of our elementary schools last. And then lastly, just some information on student parent placements for second semester. We have today, all parents received a communication to provide their intent for second semester. There's a 2-week window for that, November 2 through November 13. And then our schools will work with schedule changes between November 13 and the end of December so that we can make changes for January. So we wanted just to provide you with those updates. There are folks here who are responsible for those areas and certainly can either address questions now or certainly talk later if you have questions, but we just want to provide an update on some of those items.
And Dr. Derry, before I turn it over to the board members for any questions that they may have, I would like to single out Dr. Sherrod and Dr. Cameron and Ms. Dickerson, who are all here this evening, for their yeoman-like work during these really hard times and for keeping the board updated. So to you three personally and individually, thank you for your hard work. We do really appreciate the insight. And Ms. Graham.
A board member request was made that we review the need for teachers. Okay, teachers to be tested in their classroom with a positive student. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer, board members. I'm not the CDC, AD, the Alabama Department of Public Health. We have our students in school. We're glad they're back in school. We want them to be safe. But I have seen a couple of things that I'm not pleased with. And one, I feel if this board could, we haven't been together to talk about this, so if this is the place where we talk about this is where we'll talk about it at. If a teacher comes in contact with a student that is positive, that is respect to the other students, her class, the co-workers and everything, to simply get tested. And I don't care who feel no type of way about it. Simply get tested and know if you're positive or not. That is respect. I don't know who you all work with, but if somebody in your office is positive, I don't care what Dr. White or nobody else say. I feel like we should stand up and say, hey, teacher, you need to go get tested so the parents will know the teacher, who the teacher is serving. And I respect teachers, and y'all know I love teachers, but the family, people need to know if you positive. There's no secret. It's not like you walking around with something yucky and nasty that you want to keep a secret. It's a national pandemic going on. And so, yes, I have been back and forth with Dr. Derry about this. It breaks my heart if we do not, go full, like, hey, I called Dave. This could be a policy that the Tuscaloosa City School Board made. The reason I feel that the Department of Public Health don't do it is this is all political. It's all a bunch of mess. But that's the way I feel about it, and I feel like if all of us in this room right here, and we come in, we not 6 feet apart. If we say one of us positive, first I'm gonna go back to this. 2 weeks ago, I found out my son was positive. I didn't walk in the building. I was outside when I got the call that he was positive. So if I had just came on in here anyway, and then he positive, then I'm positive, then I spread to you all and don't tell you nothing, then you sick, then your child sick. This is disrespectful. Like, why not say something? So I feel like we had an incident where the teacher did not want to go get tested, and that is not good for our system. I'm sorry. And our children playing on the playground, go play outside, play in smaller groups. I took a picture of children playing all over the playground. I know it was 60 children. That's not good for our system. That falls on us, and we can't all micromanage what goes on, but when we see something, we got to say something as leaders to try to control the COVID and not have so many, cases. Small groups, we could try to control that. People stay away, and what people do I got a call about something outside of the school. We can't control it, but in our school system, we can control a little better what's going on with all of our children back in full time. So the request for the policy review, I don't know how we can move forward, or I don't know how it can go. I don't know if the bus stop here. But that's how I feel about it, and I just couldn't be quiet about it, because it just saddens me that, people don't feel like they should go get tested, and they have been within distance, of students. And it's hard to say if you'd have been 15 feet or 6 feet from a child, if the child needs some help, or if this child has been by another child. We not seeing how these children are all over each other at PE, in the lunchroom, in the classroom. And if they've been around each other 15 minutes, then it kind of worries me if a teacher don't be around a child 15 minutes if they don't want to, like, who's just testing it? And we solely relying on different stuff that I feel Dr. Derrick was just like, they had this in the plan before and we shot it down, but now we live in this reality of how stuff can be. Okay, slap us on the hand for that, but we need to go back and revisit that, because COVID is here, school is open. We need to see about, hey, teacher, you come in contact with somebody positive, open your mouth and say something. That's just common courtesy to everybody around us.
Okay. Any follow-up or other questions for Dr. Daria?
On the follow-up, with that, I'll say this. In a follow-up to Mrs. Grant's request about making sure that there is adequate testing, that was my primary reasoning for asking about UVC lighting, to help mitigate what we see as issues with COVID going into classrooms. Now, one thing that I try to do is make sure that whenever I ask a question, I probably know the answer. I just want to see if the people who are doing the things are going to tell me the truth. I've spoken to not only my doctor, but to other doctors, and I've been concerned that we've been in the conversation with UVC Light, the lighting company, for over a month. About a month, spending countless hours on the telephone, asking questions, getting references, as well as finding out the information that is true about how well UVC lighting can be in our schools. I've also heard about how well as you put on this this document, that the demonstration at MLK went well. What made it go well? What did it look like? What was the questions or answers from the people who saw the UVC lighting? How many of our custodians and custodians and central office staff, central support team staff that were there that liked this presentation? I'm concerned about it because to me, having that UVC lighting scientifically, let me ask that another way. What is the timeline to know whether or not the UVC lighting would be a goal that would help mitigate our schools? What is the timeline?
Reverend Williams, I'll answer that. Reverend Wilson, excuse me, I'll answer that. Right now, we don't, a vendor approached us about his product.
Right.
We did not approach this vendor about the
Correct.
product, okay? So we, per your request, we met with the vendor to learn more. There are other vendors out there that are also doing this same thing. We don't yet know how conclusive this is for schools. We do want to see what other school systems are using this and what that looks like. So I don't think we're knowledgeable enough at this point to make a decision. We also, there are some preliminary numbers on a piece of paper there. We also, if this is something the district wants to pursue, which right now, again, we just met with the vendor per your request. We've got to have a budget to connect to it. So that is the point we're in right now. When we received the CARES Act funds, we built a budget. Mr. Duke has reviewed it in this board meeting. We built a budget based on what we identified that we needed in our schools with PPE and cleaning supplies and disinfectant. That's what the current CARES Act budget is allocated for. So we don't have money in the current CARES Act for this kind of expense. I do think from what we are seeing, I think there's a time and a place for us to learn about how this might operate in a school, but we don't know that now. And if we decided today we're going to do this, we would need to look at, and we would have to get Mr. Duke involved to look at whether it's a request for proposal or whether these vendors are on a joint purchasing agreement. So we've got to do more both on the budget side and on the implementation side. What does this look like in a school system? What does this look like implemented on the practical side in schools? So we are not at a decision point.
And the reason I said that is because, Dr. Derry, it appears to me that there are different school systems in Georgia and all different places of the country that use this UVC lighting not only for COVID, but for the flu, other mitigating upper respiratory infections. And so many school systems, from my research, have benefited and have had the opportunity to get their students back in so that the issues that Mrs. Grant is bringing up could actually be mitigated. And then when we talk about funds, when we spent the money to spray the classrooms, our custodial staff are not wearing suits, which still run with risk of getting chemicals on their bodies, which can hurt them, which in a UVC lighting place, you can just bring that machine in and it disinfects in less than 15 minutes. So how do we need to talk to more medical professionals and talk to those companies as well? How can we bridge that gap to get that information out there so that, because from my understanding, our custodial staff loved it. So what do we need to do to help so that the people who are on the front lines will be safe? That's why I asked for a timeline. Because we want our people at work, we want our teachers teaching, we want our custodial staff feeling comfortable and safe being at work. And so if I'm spraying something, I have the potential of getting it on my hand. I don't know what might happen. I don't want to say, but I say it. Ms. Grant said it. She said it seems like it's about money. I want us to find the money, and I want us to keep our people safe.
Well, I'm saying it probably costs somebody on their insurance. What I'm asking, and I respect the UV lighting, I haven't looked into that at all, but I do know for a fact, if I was to say I'm positive, Lord forbid, you gonna wanna know, all y'all gonna wanna know, why is it not important for the teacher to find out? Simply go and get tested and let your children and your coworkers know that you are positive. That's my concern. And you know there's no disrespect to you at all because we've been back and forth. But I want you, Dave, and the board members to think about that because it's all in our hands to say, hey, teacher, you need to just get tested and let these people know. Now, if you're negative, that ease you, but look how close they sitting together. You don't want to know if she positive. This just only right. Nobody want to be sick. People are dying from this. People have died from the flu. But this is a national pandemic that has shut jobs down, it's quarantining our children. We can't quarantine them more. I mean, they already been quarantined to the max, teachers, students. I just want to know, I would want to know if somebody is positive, especially the teacher. I mean, we probably can't mandate stuff with the students as much, but the teacher that's serving our children need to get tested. And I don't care who get mad. That's how I feel, and that's what I feel in my heart. And I know the Lord wanted to. That's what's right, to get tested and let people know respectfully what's going on.
Does anybody have any further questions? Okay. At this time, we'll move along to the briefing on on Elevate, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Andrea Markham, and I serve as the Coordinator of Post-Secondary Engagement for TCS. And I'm here tonight to share with you information about the Elevate Dual Enrollment Scholarship, where we are, how we got here, and then most importantly, where we're going next. First, let's take a look at our fall enrollment. We currently have 232 students who are completing dual enrollment courses at all 3 of our local post-secondary institutions. In total, this represents 586 registered credit hours for these 232 students. And that's for fall semester only. If we look at student participation, nearly 40% of those 232 students are first-time dual enrollment students. And for me, that's a big deal, because if we think about it, our students are eligible to pursue dual enrollment the summer after their 9th grade year. If they make it all the way to their senior year to take their first dual enrollment course, I conclude that that's thanks to Elevate. So Elevate is changing the game and changing the lives for these students. If we look at student participation by high school, we will see that the majority of our Elevate students, just over 55%, attend Northridge High School, followed by nearly 23% who attend Bryant High School, and exactly 22% who attend Central High School. And I'll acknowledge that on the surface, it appears that those numbers are disproportionate, but we'll see in just a moment that those numbers are not terribly off base. If we look at student participation by post-secondary institution, we see that 62% of our students attend UA Early College, followed by about 36% of our students who attend Shelton State, and just below 3% of our students attend Stillman College. In total, we've spent less than $100,000 of our Elevate funding on tuition, textbooks, and course fees for the fall 2020 semester. In line with our student participation data, you'll see that our largest expenditure, or expected expenditure rather, will be to UA Early College at nearly $65,000, followed by almost $27,000 to Shelton State, and exactly $1,800 to Stillman College. We anticipate an increase in our expenses for the spring 2021 semester because Elevate students will be eligible to take courses worth more credit hours than the ones they're currently taking. We also anticipate acquiring some programmatic expenses, which we'll discuss at the November 17th meeting. So earlier we saw that the student participation by high school appeared to be unevenly distributed, with Northridge High School comprising over 55% of our total. We undertook an analysis of our process summary, starting at the beginning, where we had 498 students who were eligible at Northridge, Central, and Bryant High School, and of those, the majority of the students attend Northridge High School, so it makes sense that if Northridge High School had the most students eligible to begin with, they would have the most students participating at the end. So I thought it was really important to share that bit, because on the surface it does look quite a bit uneven. So initially, we had 498 students who were determined eligible to participate in Elevate based on specific criteria. And those criteria were that the students attend a TCS high school for at least 1 year prior to taking courses as part of the Elevate Dual Enrollment Scholarship. They live in the TCS residential attendance zones, they be a senior, and they meet the institution's minimum GPA for admission. Currently, that's a 2.5 cumulative GPA. Of those 498 students who were determined eligible, 356 of them declared their intent to participate in Elevate. And of those 356, we had 339 who actually submitted the Elevate dual enrollment application. Of those, 236 students took the next step, which was to actually complete the enrollment process at their selected post-secondary institution. And as of October 1st, 2020, we have 232 students who are enrolled at one of our 3 post-secondary institutions through the Elevate Dual Enrollment Scholarship. We use this analysis of our 2020-2021 cycle to help us identify where we could streamline things going forward. For the next cycle of Elevate, these are the current juniors that we're talking about, we've been able to modify the eligibility criteria. For example, we can now offer an exception to legal dependents of our TCS employees who meet all other eligibility criteria, but who reside outside of TCS residential attendance zones. So this is, Dr. Cameron, huge perk for personnel. 489 of our current juniors are confirmed eligible for the Elevate Dual Enrollment Scholarship. That's 98 students from Central High School, or 59% of the CHS junior class, which represents 20% of overall TCS eligible students. Again, the largest majority comes from Northridge High School with 223 eligible students. That's 82% of their junior class and almost 46% of the overall TCS eligible students. And then finally, we have 168 students who are eligible from Bryant High School. That's just over 67% of their junior class and just over 34% rather of the overall total. Using what we've learned along the way, we've also modified the Elevate process for the 2021-2022 cycle. First, we determined and communicated the eligibility status of all of our students early, as in now, and to all students. So we didn't just focus on the students who are eligible. We wanted everybody to know where they stood because we have kids who have a 2.44 GPA today who, if they work hard during this fall semester, become eligible for Elevate. And they need to know that. They need to know it up front. So we changed our communication plan to make sure everybody knew where they stood and everybody knew of the opportunity that's potentially available to them. We also required our eligible students to attend a virtual Elevate orientation. So we worked with Mayor Maddox, Dr. Daria, and our 3 post-secondary partners to put together on YouTube an orientation video, which covered the ins and outs of the program, the entire process, and gave eligible students and their families an introduction to what UA Early College can offer, to what Shelton State can offer, and to what Stillman College can offer. We then streamlined the intent to apply and dual enrollment application into a single step because we lost 17 students last cycle because they did the first step but didn't follow through with the second. So we put that together, made it an easy self-adjusting piece to where if they do one, they do both. We also shortened the window during which students could complete the enrollment process at their selected post-secondary institution, and we're providing support for this step. So we're not just saying, go apply to Shelton, it's here. I'm going to show you how to apply to Shelton and make sure you do everything that you need to do. We also added an academic advising component provided by our post-secondary partners, and we'll continue to progress monitor our students as long as they are enrolled in an Elevate dual enrollment course. Looking ahead to the future, we are currently working with Shelton State to provide dual enrollment opportunities during the spring 2021 semester for our current seniors who have not yet achieved a college and career readiness indicator. That's 238 students. We're also expanding the Elevate dual enrollment scholarship opportunities for our current juniors to be able to start their coursework as juniors rather than waiting until their senior year. What questions can I answer for you about Elevate?
Okay, questions for Ms. Markham?
Mrs. Markham, I think this is exceptionally great.
I agree.
I mean, I really do. And what do you think, in your professional opinion, can we do for those kids who are, as you have described, which you read my mind, that are at the 2.4, who really feel like college is not for me, or that they don't have the support that they need. But if given the right steps, those kids could really achieve. What would you say, because I can imagine that we have a lot of students who probably fall right there in that category. They could go either way.
Sure. I think it's important that we help all of our kids find their fit, whether that's academic dual enrollment or otherwise, and those conversations have to start early. Dual enrollment can't be something that we start talking about senior year. If they're eligible for it the summer after their 9th grade year, they need to know about it in middle school, as do their families.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Reverend Wilson, to add to that, and Ms. Markham, if you can, the students who are 2.0 to 2.5, Shelton State is working with us now to be able to allow those students to go into a gateway class. So they're not eligible under current criteria, but with what they're working with us, they'll be able to go into a gateway class at Shelton. And what that means is when they're in that gateway class, they are enrolled at Shelton State Community College. They will actually have earned college credit for that course and then can move right to Shelton State upon graduation. So Ms. Markham and Ms. Nordstrom are working with Shelton State to create what that can look like for students who are in that little gap area.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Excellent presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 9, introductions of motions, resolution for first reading. Receive, discuss first reading revision to the 2020-2021 salary schedule. Dr. Cameron, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Before you is a first reading of a revision for the 2020-21 salary schedule, and it deals with the promotion on the salary schedule, movement between the salary schedule for our employees. So presently, our employees, if they're moving, if they're promoted and they're moving from a lower salary to a higher salary, they go to the higher salary of $1 more plus one additional step. What we're proposing is they move to an equivalent step. If you're on a step 2 as an aide, you move to a step 2 as a secretary. So you'd go to the equivalent step that you're presently on. I've worked with Mr. Duke, and we built this amount into the salary schedule of $65,000 because it would currently affect 16 of our employees. And I'll take any questions if you have them.
Questions? Remember, board, this is a first reading. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Consent agenda items, of which there are none, brings us to 11, regular agenda items for final adoption. 11A, approved superintendent's recommendation regarding changes in personnel. Dr. Cameron?
Yes, sir. You have the superintendent's recommendations regarding changes in personnel. I will go through each one with you. Starting on page 1, you have 4 resignations, 1 transfer of a certified personnel, 1 reassignment of a support personnel, 5 NAESP principal mentors, and 56 part-time extended day tutors.
Okay, board. Are there any set-asides for a separate vote and discussion by number, please? Okay, having heard no set-asides, board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
A motion, we have a second. Do we have any questions or discussion by number, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Those will be approved. Okay, item number 11, discuss approve the 2020-2021 early retirement notification. Dr. Cameron?
Yes, sir. Before you have the early notification, which will assist in staffing for the 2020-2020 school year. The program is capped at $20,000. It is a first-come, first-served basis, and it's $1,000 for an eligible employee with us. We will notify our employees of this incentive, and it either ends January the 8th, 2021, or when the cap amount has reached of $20,000.
Okay, board, may I have a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Reverend Wilson. Questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That'll be approved. 11C, discuss approved low bid for Stillman Heights renovations awarded to K&A Builders, Inc. Mr. Smith, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent. These are the bid results from the renovations to Stillman Heights Elementary. The bid opening was on October 8th, 2 p.m. There were 4 bidders: Hall Construction, Harrison Construction, K&A Builders, and Spencer Management. The winning bidder was K&A Builders with a base bid of $249,000. The base bid includes paint, flooring, and technology walls and wiring of 10 rooms on the first floor. It also includes painting corridors, stripping, waxing, and painting halls, and prep paint on the structure in the front of the building. We're also recommending acceptance of alternate number 1, which consists of paint, carpet, and base coating of the administration area. That is a cost of $38,000. The total project budget was $290,160. The total base bid and alternate is $287,000, which is $3,160 under the budget. Are there any questions?
Board, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
We have a motion, we have a second by Ms. Williams. Questions for Mr. Smith? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That'll be approved. 11D, discuss approve Alabama Power Line easement access on Buttermilk Road. Mr. Smith?
Yes, this is Alabama Power's request to build a substation, which is the distribution of facilities and line clearing, guy, and anchor rights to support building of the substation. The distribution of the facility easement will provide rights to install poles, anchor, guy wires, and towers over and underground. The line clearing guy, the line clearing guy and anchor right easement provides rights consistently to keep everything clear and clean, trees, limbs, and things of that nature. So this area will be used to build a substation. The area that they're proposing to utilize is behind Eastwood, and that is on McKinnon Drive that crosses into Buttermilk.
Okay, Board, may I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion, we have a second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That'll be approved. 11E, discuss approve Alabama Power Company easement at Arcadia Elementary.
This is to allow Alabama Power to provide easement rights to provide power to our new Arcadia sign. It's been up, and so we want to make sure we get that done. This easement grants power and rights to provide service and general repairs to the services for Arcadia Elementary. The power will perform all the necessary work to keep this marquee running, and it will provide power to our meter that's there as well.
Board, may I have a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That'll be approved. There are no updates or unfinished business. Announcements, we have whole board training next Tuesday in the Regions Room at 6 o'clock. And then the next board meeting will be November the 17th here at TCTA. Any board member have any further announcements? We'll stand adjourned.